We're back. There we go.
We're back.
Hopefully my computer will hold out this time. We'll have to see. But there's the bloody Rick and Morty thing anyway.
I know,
There
it's
they are,
great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at them.
It's all
The
in the show.
coots and everything.
It's all canon. I like the fact that in the Rick and Morty universe that kind of makes sense as well. They could actually go through a portal and end up in this weird place. So yeah, that's a fun little reference anyway. So,
Let's cheer it up everyone's day.
there you go. Yes, it has.
Now, as we left off, Matt was going to draw his favourite image. Princess Celestia.
That is my favourite image.
Would you prefer Rouge the Bat again?
Oh, fuck off.
Exactly.
Favourite image thing. Oh, I've lost the references folder now, for fuck's sake.
See, this is what happens when you don't organise it.
I was organised and now I'm not anymore. I was before.
There
There
it
we go.
is.
There we go, got it. Cool. Favourite image? I don't think she's my favourite character from the show, but she's a cool design anyway. She's fun.
Aww.
I like it.
But who would your favourite character be?
Design-wise, it's probably Rainbow Dash, I guess. Character-wise, probably
Pinkie Pie.
probably Rarity, to be honest. Pinkie Pie's cool, but no, not for me.
But Pinkie Pie, she's so cheerful.
Is she? So what? Can your happy characters be your favourite characters?
I see you in Pinkie Pie.
Do you think?
Yes. Because secretly, deep down, you're as cheerful as that.
Maybe you're right, Ziggy. Maybe you're right.
I see the good in everyone, except Big the Cat.
There you go.
I just think in 2 years, being the year 1990 would have been 30 years ago.
Yeah, it makes you feel old, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I'm already getting grays, reminiscing, and complaining in general about the good old days. I mean, I'm practically a geriatric at this point.
Are you? Right, maybe.
These young upstarts, these whippersnappers.
Yeah, well, that's it. I try to ignore that as much as I can, 'cause if that's how we feel now, how are we going to feel in like 20 years, you know? That stuff will drive you insane.
Oh man.
What?
At that time, the death clock will be ticking, and then we'll just have to wait for the sweet embrace of the cold sleep.
That's kind of what I was talking about avoiding.
Not too late, we're talking about it now.
Okay, fair enough.
So are you looking forward to death?
All the time. Yeah, it'd be sweet relief from this bollocks. Madness anymore. Okay.
As long as it's not painful. Yeah, it's not, the sleeping death, that's always a fun one.
I guess, but I think you have to be very fortunate for that to be honest.
That's all I hope for. I don't want to die from falling. It's the worst way to go.
Why did you choose falling specifically then?
Because that's my fear, the heights. The falling from the heights.
Okay. I think my greatest fear would be drowning. I'm so terrified of that, yeah.
Aww. Did it stem from a childhood trauma?
Not really, just the idea of it, the idea of slowly choking to death
Aww.
is really quite terrifying to me. So,
The more you know.
I would imagine falling would be fairly quick. Like, I don't know if there'd be a bit of pain when you hit the floor. But I think even you pass out midway down anyway from shock, so falling might be okay. Falling actually might be a decent choice.
Yeah, you fall,
Okay,
like,
sorry, you can say that in the face of logic, but yeah, but that's how it works in films, Ziggy. Stuntman thrashing around like a nut. When it's like, I'm pretty sure in real life you just pass out from shock and you die probably quite peacefully, in a way.
But I can never seem to pass out. I'm just there.
Of all the times you've thrown yourself off buildings, you never pass out. What are you talking about? What?
Of all the times I've, you know, like first I've been on a roller coaster and there's a
No, but that's not enough shock, dude. You're only falling for what, a couple of seconds.
And then up and then more falling and twisting and turning from the heights and so. Oh.
No, but if you pass out on a roller coaster, you have a very weak tolerance for that stuff, and that does happen. There's videos of that on the internet, but I think you saying I never pass out on roller coasters doesn't really disprove what I'm saying.
I've just never passed out in general. I don't even know what it's like.
Okay.
What is it like? You seem to know.
I don't know. You just black out. Everything stops. I guess.
Everything stops.
I think it depends. I don't know, because there's like blacking out from drinking.
Again, I've not experienced that.
I've never done. That's fair, that's fair. Or there's blacking out. I was once punched in the face. I blacked out.
Oh, oh no! Why? What?
Whoa. Okay.
When? Who did this?
Bloody hell! Slow down. How many questions? God.
There's a million.
Okay.
Who would dare hit you in the face?
Okay. Well, first, I did say to the person his mother has AIDS, so I kind of deserved it, to be honest.
Was this in the 90s at some point?
No, it was in the last decade. We were walking over from town. We'd been out in Bath together. That's freaking ridiculous. We were out in Bath together with a friend, and on the way home, we were walking down the canal to get back to my place. And some kids stopped us and said, "Alright, mate, can I have a lighter?" And I agreed, and they were trying to light a spliff. And as they were lighting up, I said something doofy like, "Hey, spare a toke for the generous, lighter person," or whatever. And for some reason, they couldn't get my lighter to work. So one of the mates said to the guy with the lighter, "Sod it, just take the lighter, let's go." So they stole my lighter. I was like, "Can I have my lighter back?" I'm like, "No."
Did they give a reason why?
Well, just because they wanted to light their spliff and didn't want to wait the 5 seconds to get it working for some reason. So they started walking off. And as they were off in the distance, I started throwing really nasty insults at them, like, "Yeah, your mother has AIDS."
Yeah.
When I said that one, one of them came running back towards me. And I didn't really know what was happening at this point, so I was still fairly drunk. And I just said, with my arms spread out in front of me, I just said, "I just want my lighter back, can I have my lighter?" Before I knew what happened, I was on the floor. He just straight up punched me in the face.
Dude!
Yeah, it was a bloody good shot, he had me. I turned to my mate for help, but he'd already wandered off around the corner. He'd abandoned me. So yeah. Yeah, you don't really feel it, weirdly. There's no pain, you just kind of wake up on the floor feeling a bit groggy and strange. And
ah, that sounds like a bad crowd. Let's get the death note on them. Do you know their names? Am I going to have to talk to their parents?
Do I know the names of 5 teenagers I met while I was really drunk?
Yes.
Half a decade ago? No, surprisingly.
That's supposed to be your father and protect you from this kind of thing.
Really? Since when? Okay, Ziggy.
This will not stand. We'll have to get those boys and break their legs.
You're fucking violent in your spare time, though, dude. You hide the side of you very well. Not
You
bad.
just got to take them to an alleyway and break each of their legs systematically. Left
Jesus
and
fuck, Ziggy. Calm the fuck down.
No, they hurt my friend.
Step the fuck
You
back.
just wanted the lighter back.
I'm pretty sure the bloke found it traumatising, actually, because when I went down to the floor, his other mate kind of turned up and went, "Holy shit, what the fuck happened?" Like, I went down such a sack of shit that it kind of scared them. They were very surprised at how easily I went down. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna get out of there, mate." Oh. And they ran off. So
This will not stand, and I hope they get their comeuppance.
well, no, I'm happy with him having that trauma in his head for the rest of his life. I think if I punched someone to the floor and it kind of surprised me, I would think about that at least once a week and be like, "Oh shit, why did I do that? Why was I such an angry little twat back then?" So I'm happy with that. I'm sure, unless he's a psychopath, I'm sure he carries that with him. So
I'm sure he's already forgotten. In which case, I hope he gets what's coming to him.
Well, that's possible. It might happen. Yeah.
We do not condone violence unless it's in self-defense or an unjust thing that has happened.
That's true. That's true.
In which case, yeah, screw that guy, screw the friends, and any form of relation to them.
I'm not 100% happy with this, but it'll do.
At least it's better than my get you in the face. No, this will not stand. I will hunt them down.
They're fine.
I will find them.
They're fine, Ziggy. They were just young and stupid. And so was I, to be honest. I was shouting really obscene things at them. So
I'm sure you was just doing that to get them to turn around so that you can get your lighter back.
I don't know what my end game was doing that. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what I expected. Yeah, this will help. None of those.
Oh, I'm sorry that you said that. You know, here's your lighter back.
Well, exactly. Was that where this was going to go? No, is the simple answer there. Yeah. I've got a bloody
the adventures of young Matt were crazy.
There was a little penis back then. Go for them better.
So you've only had a conscience like me, Jiminy Cricket.
A conscience like you.
Conscience, you know, I could be there in my little suit and top hat, giving you good advice.
That's true, Zig. You're always doing that with your top hat.
Now I just have to teach you to whistle.
There you go, Zig. Okay.
You have any more stories to impart?
Oh, about passing out. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, about the adventures of young Matt.
Right. That's very general, Zig. I have quite a lot of those. I had a youth that lasted quite some time. So, any specific stories?
Any stories of, you know, just you learning something, or experiencing something that you've not experienced before? Romance or anything like that.
It's still a bit broad, Zig. I don't know.
Okay,
You need to help me.
What was your love life like then?
My love life. God. When I was young.
Yeah.
How young are we going here?
We're not too young. It's not into the primary school stuff, but in college, for instance.
Well, you tell me yours first, as I already just told a revealing story. Go on then. Tell me about your love life.
My love life was non-existent until 2014.
Right.
But before then, it was pretty much non-existent.
Okay.
I mean, sure, there was people I was interested in, but I was almost always shot down.
Okay. So then you'd ask a girl and she'd say like, no. Or did you not ask?
But even if we spent enough time together, it's like, you know what, we spent just such and such time together, I've already developed feelings for you, and she'd be like, nah.
Okay. What do you think put them off, Zig? What do you think went wrong? Why not, man? Why were you
I
lucky
think
enough?
it's just me.
In general? Like,
In general. It's
like, obviously it's you.
Just my
like,
existence, you know, just my mere presence.
Well, obviously you overcame that at one point. You did have a long-term girlfriend for a bit, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
It was the greatest feeling I've ever experienced in life. Now it's gone. And I will carry that with me for the rest of my days.
Yeah, long-term relationships do traumatize you like nothing else. Yeah, that's true. I carry baggage from all my long-term relationships there, definitely. It's a tough one, man.
It is tough. And it never gets any easier. It's been 2 years. Slowly creeping towards 3.
Has it been that long?
It has.
That's not a big deal, man. Like for me, it's been longer, so don't worry about that, dude. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you what. When I was younger, like, probably throughout school, I wasn't like a lady killer or anything, but I almost always had someone interested in me or someone I was interested in. I was quite fortunate, weirdly.
Yes, that does seem very fortunate. It seems almost opposite of my school life, in which case I was very repugnant and no girl was ever interested in me ever.
But this contrasts to how my experience as an adult, though. Like, outside of uni, when I went back to uni a few years ago, like, I don't really get much attention, really. I struggle with that. I struggle to meet new people as in the adult context outside of education, apparently. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, I've had people interested here and there, but not at uni. It was nearly constant. It was marvellous. So don't know what I was doing right there.
I've seen your younger pictures at uni.
I guess yeah, I was in the gym all the fucking time. That helped.
And you had the appearance of a supermodel.
I really didn't, Zig. What are you
did
talking
though,
about?
man.
What?
I saw the image.
Ziggy is
I saw
really
that one
exaggerating
picture,
something.
man.
I don't know what he's on about. Which picture is
When
that?
you was 21 or something like that. You know, that supermodel looking picture of you just laying on some hill.
Oh,
that one.
Oh god.
It haunts me for all my days, man.
When I went to Turkey, this ridiculous hotel photographer took a photo of me.
It seemed very professional, man.
Well, it was. He was a professional hotel photographer, but then he photoshopped another picture of me looking back at myself.
Exactly.
I fancy myself. It's really weird. The funniest thing I've ever seen.
It makes
I
you
do not
look
like a supermodel. I don't know.
it did make you look like a supermodel, man. You could model for H&M or Primark or something like that.
I don't think
and I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Fair enough, my dude.
Meanwhile, when I was 21, I was fugly.
Oh, dude. I don't think so. I think this is going to take too long to colour, actually. I think I'm going to get bogged down if I do that. But I don't mind the sketch. It's not bad. It's in my sort of style. Not bad.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm guessing I've hit the 20 minutes already, haven't I? Oh, close to. I'll do a little bit more.
Yeah, you've had ladies pining over you for a long time.
Have I? What do you mean?
Remember the story of Welsh Hitler?
Yeah, there was that one weird period where I had 3 people interested at once. Yeah, but that's a total anomaly. That's never happened before or since. So I don't know. It's funny.
That's never happened to me, and it will never happen. I mean, I'm lucky to have at least one person interested in me in my 28 years and counting.
That's cool, man. I bet a lot more people were interested in you, and you just never asked them, or they never found the courage to ask you.
They were quite adamant about my fugginess, especially in school.
Really? Well, that's just bullying, isn't it? That's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that, man. But I bet outside of that, in the adult world, I bet there are plenty of people who may have had a thing for you or had a crush on you at some point.
Probably not.
Oh, now who's Mr. Cynical?
I have accepted my fugginess.
Still maintain you're not ugly, but okay, Zig, that's fine.
Yeah.
You silly bugger.
Have you seen my mug? It's awful.
I have, Zig. I don't mind it. I don't think your looks would prevent you from finding someone. I don't think so. I think you're being very unfair to yourself, and possibly how people treated you at school has affected you. To make you think such a way.
That's the truth, though. I have yet to be proven wrong about these things.
Okay, Zig. I think especially when it comes to attractiveness like that, it's not so much to do with looks, it's how you carry yourself and how you put yourself out in the world anyway, man.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
I mean, I keep thinking back to that one photo of you when you were younger, and
yeah, but Zig, people are attracted to me now, and I'm a funny looking dude now. I am actually literally quite a funny looking person. So, it's not about that, man. It's definitely not about that.
But how do you carry yourself? We seem pretty similar in that regard.
You think so? Maybe.
Yet you are the lady killer.
Ziggy, stop telling lies to people. It's just not true.
I'm sure you viewers have seen his pictures back when he had those piercing eyes that stare lovingly into your soul.
Oh, Zig, the nonsense levels today, man. It's incredible. Literally incredible. What was the question? What were we talking about? How are we similar to each other? Well, Zig, you're more likely, like in a moment of say awkwardness or something, you're more likely to crack a joke, can't you?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't do that.
Ah. You seem like that kind of person.
I'm not. No. I'll more likely be like, wow, this is awkward. Wow. I'm sorry, that was my bad. Like, it would be self-deprecating even, whereas you're more likely to be like, here's a meme! So we're not really that similar in that respect, if I'm honest. We both have a nervous laughter thing, I think. We do both carry that, maybe.
I think the nervous laugh is a perfect coping mechanism.
It works half the time. It works. I wish I'd done more with that. I ran out of time.
That's fine as is.
Yeah,
it's a great sketch.
We'll leave that. I'm more likely to hold back as well. Whereas I think you just blur sometimes things onto the table a bit too quickly. Whereas I hold things back because I feel like mystery is important. I guess I don't know. I'm just talking nonsense.
Oh man, I'm too old for mystery and playing those kind of games.
Well, no, but it helps, dude. That's what helps. I think that's what helps to create some intrigue in people.
Oh no! If they're people that don't know me, they'll just be intimidated by me.
Why'd you say that?
Because people seem intimidated by me anyway. If they're those that don't know me and I'm just sitting there all quiet, like keeping to myself, they just think I'm just brooding and scary.
They might not think that. They might think it's, oh wow, he's a deep thinker. What's he wandering about to himself, I wonder. They won't necessarily think you're intimidated. They might find it attractive. Some people do.
Who are these people?
All sorts of people, man. Not everyone just wants that one thing, is it? You know, some people want someone who's a bit out there and withdrawn because he's an artistic soul or something, you know. Loads of people are into that idea, man. Totally. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Anyway, do you want to roll the dice of truth, man? Come on. Come on, give it a bang. What are you shutting your eyes for, you knob?
I don't want it to be free.
Come on. You got lucky.
Ah, phew.
I think is that one of the, that might be bloody Yuri.
As long as it's not Big the Cat.
Well, it's not. We know it's not Big the Cat. You're okay at that point. Oh, bloody hell. I've lost the list now as well. There we go, found Roulette. Number 18 is... Oh, no!
Stop!
It's getting over it, man.
Oh!
Oh, alright, that's a surprise. I didn't think he'd come up. Alright.
We did it, folks. I'd like to thank each and every one of you, even if it's just the one odd person watching this. Perfect.
Right, so which reference do you want?
We'll go for the old original.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've been waiting a long time for this.
You wanted to join me, so didn't you? So there you go, you got your wish, you got your dream. There we go. There he is. There we go.
Now you know about my life in the past.
There you go. I talked a bit about mine, I guess. There you go. Carry on, then, Zig.
I will. But I bet you must have a million questions about my mysterious backstory.
Should I? Do I?
I assume so.
I think you've been quite upfront and honest with where you've come from, mostly. You might reveal now you have been keeping a lot of secrets from me, but...
I keep secrets from everybody.
Okay. Well, so, filling most of the gaps. I've actually spent most of your childhood playing video games.
That's right.
Okay.
And watching TV.
So tell me something that would surprise me then. What would surprise me?
I don't know what would surprise you.
Well, I don't know what amazing surprises you have, and you don't know. What are we going to do?
Apart from the fact that I'm a hopeless romantic, but I think you already knew that.
We just talked about that, didn't we?
I believe in the whole love at first sight sort of thing. That's right, I'm that dude.
Oh, bless you.
And I believe...
Because you're saying you don't need to know a girl to love her.
Well...
That's kind of what you're saying.
You know, when you meet that one special person, that's it. You just know.
You're just like me when I was in my 20s. I just sort of believed in that.
No, don't do.
No, it's not to say that's not true, but I think I've learned that you properly know if you like someone about 3 months later.
3 months?
Yeah.
Why so long?
Because then you've had time to actually get to know them and their quirks and what they're about. If you're just like, oh my god, you're so sexy, I want you. That's basically what happens when you love at first sight someone.
Oh.
You don't know them. You're just saying, I really like your clothes and the shape of your body. That's mostly what you're saying.
That's voice tone. No. Oh.
I would like to insert my frenabulum into your spudicula. Because the race must continue. I am thrusting in your direction. That's basically what's happening.
Isn't that what every 20-odd-year-old is thinking at that stage in life, though?
Well, exactly, but it's not good. You need to develop beyond that, because I wound up in a lot of wasted relationships that were a waste of time for everyone involved, because I was following those rules, you know.
But at least you were in those relationships, though. I mean, it's like the exact opposite of my spell of dryness.
No, I ruined several friendships as well. It was like girls I was vaguely friends with, and I was like, yeah, go on then, let's try. And now then we're not friends now. It's done.
But they
awful.
accepted. This raises more questions than answers. I mean, if they didn't feel that way, why did they accept?
Well, no, I didn't feel that way at the end. It was usually the problem.
Oh.
Honest. They're perfectly wonderful, just like, in the end I suddenly went, actually, this is not what I'm after, this is not what I'm looking for. So.
The little joke made me ruin my getting over it, man.
Oh, sorry, dude. You carry on, man. I'll stop distracting you. So, well, that's fine, Ziggy. You're in that mindset at the moment. You might want to consider how that might impact you, though, if it ever does come true.
Oh, I know what ever come true. I've come to accept that now.
Maybe that's part of your problem, Ziggy. You shouldn't think like that, man. Not about yourself, dude. You got to be your own cheerleader, mate. That's something I've had to learn in the last 6 months or so. If you don't think if you don't want to fuck you, no one will. Maybe not that extreme. But if you don't think you're fuckable, no one will. I think.
There was a brief period of time when I thought that there was a brief period when I had some semblance of confidence, but
okay.
That was gone ages ago.
What gave you confidence? Do you remember? What gave you that confidence?
Well, just the fact that thinking positive would hopefully bring positive things.
Okay.
And that was a waste of time, because no matter how positive I thought, life just didn't go that way. I mean, before I got the job I was at now, I was on the job seekers, and I thought maybe if I, think that I'll get the job, a good job, then it'll happen. And I did think that way for a while, and life just pooped on me constantly.
Okay.
All the time. Every time.
Oh, I see. I'll follow that. I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
And then there was the thoughts that, maybe I'm attractive to somebody. I mean, I can't be that fugly forever, right? And life was like, yeah, you'll be alone for all of your days.
Crikey. Okay, well, let's think on this. I mean, you now you're a functioning adult in the world, you have your job. That's not easy. You're paying your tax, you're doing your part in society. You're respecting the work, people think you're alright.
They probably secretly hate me.
Zig! That's what I'm talking about. No, they don't.
Well, I feel that way about almost everybody, except for friends.
That's definitely something you need to work
people that don't know me or acquaintances.
That's very paranoid, isn't it?
Nah, it's true, probably.
Everybody hates me, outside of my very close-knit friends. Why would you think that's it?
Well, because they're not close-knit. I mean, they don't know me, they just assume the worst in me.
That's something you might need to overcome, though. I don't think you're being fair to yourself there.
It's fine. I've been thinking that way all my days, and it's got me this far.
We're talking about how you may struggle to meet the opposite sex for jiggy time. We didn't put it in exact terms, but that's what we're talking about, isn't it? So you're not, I don't know, you're not doing that fine, are you, in that respect? I'm not saying feel terrible thing, but it's like maybe that's an area to work on. Maybe that's something to think of. Well, maybe I could be more positive about myself. Something I've definitely had to come to terms with recently is trying to properly appreciate when you've done well, giving yourself proper credit. Whereas I used to bounce between thinking I'm the fucking God's gift to Earth to thinking I'm a piece of shit and never being in between. just depending on whether I was at the top of everything and amazing, or anything less than that, then I had to be a piece of shit, basically. But now I think about even just getting up in the morning, having a shower, doing your hair properly, getting out the front door and seeing people, that's an achievement. That's something that's worthwhile, that's making life work, you know?
Yeah.
Give yourself a pat on the back for that, you know? So each time you get to work, mate, each day that you're in your job and you're not on job seekers, give yourself a pat on the back, say, holy shit, I'm making it happen, you know?
I do that most of the time, but there's always that weird niggling feeling that I could lose it all.
Why? Why is that?
Well, I might screw up, or they might just suddenly turn around and say, we don't need you anymore, we have to let you go, or something. Or you're not doing something that's up to a standard.
That's interesting though, because then that's you. You're basically ruining your good mindset by having that in the background. You're kind of sabotaging yourself. It's like, oh, even if it's good, it's probably going to turn bad soon.
That's what usually happens.
Well, this is it. You need to stop that because you're out of that now. You've been in that job 2 years, isn't it?
Nearly 2 years.
So I think you proved your brain wrong.
I know, but with these good things that happen to me, it never lasts. I hope it does last.
You're breaking my heart, Zig. You're breaking my heart.
I mean, it's just like my relationship. I thought things were going well, and I thought that we'd be together forever, and it didn't.
I'm sorry, man. It's more complex when we're talking about relationships as opposed to, having a job or something. It's a bit more difficult because you have to respect her free will, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not those kinds that goes, I can't have you. No one can. No.
Is that a thing? Does that exist?
There are people like that. I don't know why.
It's worrying.
But yeah.
I mean, how many years were you with her? It was a couple of years, wasn't it?
It was.
It's a good innings, man. Maybe say, well, I'm glad I had a long-term relationship. Were you in love?
I can honestly say that.
You can say, I'm glad I was in love. I've got mates who haven't experienced that. We're in their 30s, never hit that point yet. So you were in a loving relationship. You made it there. Came to an end. Maybe it's for the better.
Are you sure? I still think about this person in particular.
You miss her, of course you do. You will until you probably get into another relationship. To a point. That's natural, sadly. But you also have to convince yourself, have another voice in your head that says, actually, maybe this is better for both of us. Or it's irrelevant pining for her because it wasn't working. You're just causing yourself more pain. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracting you by talking about your relationship past.
It's fine.
It's getting over it, man. Very nice.
It's the perfect interpretation for this. I just need to get over it.
Oh, no. Okay. How are we doing for time? Let's check the old stream again. Oh shit.
Just get over it, man. Time.
Oh, okay. You've got another sort of 7 minutes if you want to colour it.
I think that's a great sketch of getting over it, man.
It's pretty sweet, buddy. Want to add anything to it, or are you done?
Well, I think I'm done with the getting over it, man. I think I did a decent job.
That's good. Good job, man. Good job. That's cool. That's cool.
But yep, now you know how my mind works. I mean, I get my good days, and then I get my downer days, where my mindset just suddenly goes negative.
I see. What do you do on those days, Zig?
Well, I do the same as usual, but I just think the worst in everything.
Oh no. I thought you'd have a coping mechanism or something.
There's no coping mechanism, it just needs to wait for my good day again.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Even if someone just randomly makes a little joke that was a bit of an insult, I'll just dwell on it.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I'm totally guilty of that. So I know what you're talking about, man.
Or if I'm approaching someone and they tell me to go away because they're busy, then I just dwell on it. It's like, ah.
Oh, no. So you start to take things to heart that you shouldn't really.
Yeah. All the time on those bad days.
Oh no, I'm sorry, but dude. Yeah, it's hard not to be sensitive sometimes. I get that problem. So it's number 9. Oh, right.
Oh,
Did not expect that. I was kind of hoping not to draw Freezer, because I don't know.
You must draw Freezer.
I like their design. I don't think I'm going to do it justice. I don't think this is going to be cool. Alright, let's try it.
I think you can do it.
Okay. So I think it's the last form I want to draw. That's the coolest one to me.
Yep, that mindset's been around since primary school. Especially with my first crush.
Okay.
And then she flat out told me that she was not interested, she'll never be interested in me, that I was indeed ugly.
How did you get to that point? How did what happened prior to that? Can you tell me? Like, did you ask her out, or did you?
I just said that I liked you.
That was literally it.
Yeah.
I mean, had you been friends with her before?
Pinned me to the wall and it's like, nah, no, listen here, I'm not.
She pinned you to the wall?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm not interested in you, I'll never be interested in you. You're ugly, go away, leave me alone.
Well, she's a bitch. You're better off without her for a start. But maybe, I mean, did you get to know her first?
Yeah, we did spend quite a bit of time together.
Okay. Why was she so mean then?
I don't know, it's just me, I guess.
Oh, no, I don't think that's your fault. If she was your friend and she reacted like that, I don't think that's appropriate at all. I think she's horrendous. Awful person.
Oh, that was just all part of growing up for me.
Okay. I'm sorry, man. That sounds rubbish. Okay.
Especially on those random Valentine's days when you have to give a card, get a card.
You had to?
Yeah.
Who was enforcing that?
No, the teachers, you know, one of those give
Fuck
a card
me.
to your Valentine's, and I was indeed the Ralph Wiggum.
They never enforced that in our school because it would lead to that. That's fucked up. Why did they do that?
Yeah. Public school.
Idiots. Well, I went to public school. They were smart enough to know that would not. That doesn't have chime.
I was made part primary public school, so yeah. But yeah, I was the Ralph Wiggum minus any sympathy cards.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible. God. It's like your school wanted you to be traumatized. Fuck me. That's made me really angry.
And I'm sure you must have remembered my home life that I've told you about back when I was younger. So you add them together, and then people wonder how I'm still able.
I'm sorry, man. That's it. It's surprising that you're such a cheerful, nice, relaxed person, given what you've been through. If I might say, you had some difficult stuff at home, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I won't go into.
We weren't exactly well off enough. I mean, we didn't have things like holidays or allowances. We grew up pretty poor.
Yeah.
As scholars.
And usually so for a British sort of family. So your mother was
single parent family whose dad left and hasn't returned.
Yeah, that's totally it, man. So yeah, you had a lot to struggle with, and then it sounds like your school life was bollocks as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, that was just primary school. I mean, this was the same primary school where every other day you go to the top field, as we call it. I mean, I don't know if you know of top fields. Just a big grassy area out away from the building where kids go and play.
Is that usually where the kids go and smoke weed or something?
Not quite. It's where we find used needles and used condoms.
Oh, it's another level also. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And it wasn't until later on in life that I found out that that's where the ladies of the night would do their business.
Right. Bloody hell.
I had good times at primary school where my little sister one time got a fat off splinter on her finger, like lodged in her fingernail, and in between there. And you know what they did?
What's that?
Put a plaster on it.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? They didn't remove it?
Nope. My mom had to remove it.
Your school was really fucking bad. It's run by fucking cowboys, surely. Wow.
The same school where the school dinners were very substandard, that you'd find like staples and mashed potatoes.
Did you go to a prison camp as a kid? Like, this doesn't sound right, man. I'm sorry, dude. Holy shit, man, dude. I'm sorry, man.
It was all part of growing up.
Wow. Indeed.
Good times.
Were they?
And secondary school was quite an adventure.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I guess I was quite fortunate. My school years weren't traumatic in that respect. It was more my home life spilled into school a bit. Like, God love my mum. She's a wonderful person, but she went through some serious issues when I was quite young. She had bipolar and things. And it did mean occasionally, if one of the teachers shouted at me, or I felt they'd shouted at me, I'd tell my mum. Then turn the next day, my mum would come into school and shout at the teacher.
That's a defensive parent. I can appreciate that.
It's more than defensive. I mean, it's proper balls out. How dare you talk to my son that way? How dare you, son?
She's just sticking up for a kid.
Well, not really, because my complaint wasn't really that fair. The teacher was acting fairly normal. I was being a bit of a little dickhead. And the teacher was just saying, no, Matt, don't do whatever I wasn't supposed to do. And I was like, oh, I can't have that. I'll get my...
No, I can't.
I'll use my mother to come in and, you know...
Mum.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't a good thing to... No, my mum should have just said, no, sod off, you silly little kid. Like, I don't know. Rather than, yes, Matthew, you are correct, the school are wrong, and I'll come in and right that wrong, you know.
She's heard of bad schools, like this May Park Primary School that I went to.
Owen Court was fucking heaven compared to that, mate. The place we went to, it was like... It wasn't a proper Christian school, but they brought in a father to talk about Christian stuff each week, and we all sat and sang songs together. It was very wholesome there, really. Well,
May Park wasn't a Christian school, it was just a school around the corner from where we lived that kind of nearly got burnt down by my little brother and...
Your brother did that?
I know.
Shit, you're not incriminating him saying that.
No. He was accused of it by the head teacher, but it was in fact another guy.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't know why they incriminated my little brother in the first place. He wasn't even at the toilets at the time. But yeah, May Park Primary School.
There you go.
Take your kids there.
Sounds pretty
Builds
fucked.
character.
Sounds fucked as hell, my friend. But I'd do things like as well, like I wasn't on the football team because I was too rubbish, and I felt that wasn't fair. Couldn't do any of that shit. That was terrible. I just didn't feel that was fair, so I literally talked to the headmaster about being put on the team. I was like, I want to be on the team, you should put me on it. And he tried to say, like, is that fair though, for all the boys who worked hard and, you know, put in the skills that you could do, Matthew, if you tried? I was like, no, it's fine. I just want to be on the team. Just want the tears. I want to be on the team. I was a proper spoiled little fuck back then.
What changed?
It didn't really change until I was in about my mid-20s, really.
28, hopefully.
Why'd you say 28?
Because I'm 28.
Well, I'd hope you're more emotionally developed than I was back then. I don't know. I think you are, Zig, to be honest. I think you're doing fine in most respects. I worry about your self-esteem. That's the only thing I worry about. I think you're far too hard on yourself.
Between school and home life, that self-esteem's gone.
Well, this is it.
It's non-existent.
This is it. But you can work on that, man. You can totally work on that.
When life poops on you all the time, when you try to build the self-esteem, how can one build it up?
Positive inner voice for yourself, you know, like you said, rather than being constantly negative, always try to seek the positives to balance that voice out. That's what I propose anyway, mate.
No, that seems pretty impossible.
Well, it's not. I'm doing it, and I had the worst kind of self-image for a while. I really did despise myself for a bit, but now, no, I'm kind of cool with myself. Just by sort of trying to find the positive in my actions as well as the negative. We are our own worst cheerleaders, I think, Zig. Well, I'm not massively enamoured with this picture. This is not one of my A grades here. But, oh, it's the last sketch of the stream as well, because this is it after this, I think.
And we avoided Big the Cat.
We did.
It's a mighty relief. That's right, Freezer, you give the thumbs up. We did it!
Oh, Zig. Yeah. That's disappointing.
I'm about to say, I bet you must have gone on lots of holidays when you was younger. But I never remembered you did.
No, I was quite lucky. My parents gave me a lot of attention and things in that respect. Definitely. Like, they took us places all the time.
That must have been nice.
It was, in its way. It's just a shame they were kind of toxic outside, that sort of thing. They weren't very good emotionally. The emotional stuff of children. I love them. I love them and adore them to death, and they brought me into this world, so thank you for that. But they weren't prepared. That's a good way to put it. Like with my mum, when I said to her, "Oh, I'm being bullied at school," her blanket answer was, "I'll just ignore them."
That's not... Well, I got a different answer than just ignore them.
What was your answer?
Beat them up. The long and short of it.
That's not a good blanket answer
Defend
either.
yourself.
Like, a good parent would say, "Okay, tell me the situation. Right, in that idea you should probably do this. This is fair, you know. Not just go ignore them or punch them in the face, you know."
It seems like we got two extremes.
Neither of them are good. Neither of them are useful to teach a kid, "Oh, actually be reactive in these situations." And
like either don't be reactive or be super reactive.
You know, like, ignore them gave me this idea that I'm just above them, but they don't even need my consideration, which isn't a good way to deal with it.
Or, you know, don't take that kind of crap, just beat them up.
Yeah, violence.
If you don't, you're weak.
That's not the idea either, is it?
Don't make them think you're weak.
Definitely not a good
Why can't you be like your brothers? Anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
It's literally like the Norbit brothers, you know, you get 3 tough guys and then you got me.
I see.
The Norbit guy.
It's funny that your mum never stopped and considered, should I be encouraging my son to be violent? Is that a positive thing to put in the world? I'm sorry your mum did that to you, but my mum was no better. She would either say ignore it or she'd storm into the school to defend me on my behalf, you know, it's like...
Seems like we just got the opposite ends of the spectrum. There's no middle ground.
They tried their best. They both tried, but no dice, I'm afraid.
Well, at least you were never implied to be a quote from EastEnders. You know, being the crumbs, the scraps, the parts that nobody wants.
That's fucked. I'm sorry, man. Jesus.
Ever since that episode of EastEnders, that was the go-to quote.
Jesus. Wow. I mean, my dad actively undermined my self-esteem for a long time. My mum didn't do it purposely, at least. Like I say, she was never vindictive like that. It was more my dad who was in that sort of game zone.
Because you didn't fit the standards of that being a man.
It was a bit of that.
That's just the worst.
I think it's more he didn't understand me anyway. He didn't know how to relate to an anxious, worried child that I was. He didn't know how to negotiate that, so...
Yeah, I think that seems to be a common thing.
Which is fine, I guess.
But at least you have a dad that's around, even if he was terrible.
True.
Just saying.
That's true, I'm sorry, man.
It's like, just like Austin Powers, man. It's like that empty chair reserved for Mr. Hudson. And then well, not so much the laughter, but I can always envision the laughter.
Right.
Especially by that random janitor guy. It's like, ah!
You said you were trying to track him down, actually, weren't you? Can we talk about that? You happen to talk about it?
I mean, all we've got to go on is a number that rarely works, and the fact that he lives somewhere in Jamaica in a fancy house.
You say it rarely works, so you've tried to call him, I think.
Oh yes, but he's rarely picking up.
But he has?
Oh no, he's not picked up yet. But
oh right, I see. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, that's cool, dude. Do you want to track him down? Do you want to speak to him?
I do. For that closure, you know.
That's cool.
It's what any urban kid wants, secretly.
Right. Oh, fair, dude. I hope you do get that in. Oh, I don't know how I feel about my sketches today. Oh.
I feel they are great.
Oh, that's nice.
I think we've covered a lot of ground about the mysterious backstory of Ziggy Hudson.
Yeah, both of us, we both opened up a bit today, haven't we, I think?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it's very good.
Whether the people watching the care or not, there we go.
Fair enough. So let's look at let's bring up. Let's see what we pulled up. I've lost half of it though.
But now you know the root of my lack of self-esteem. But I can't really say lack because that would mean that there is some semblance of it there. Non-existent self-esteem.
Well, definitely. I hope you think about how you talk too hard on yourself, mate. I do. I really do. Let's adjust this a bit. So I think the sketch here is actually good. That's actually because again, like I forget to point everyone out. Like Ziggy doesn't really use a tablet. He's drawing on a tablet when he does it. Yeah, I mean, I told him to practice on his tablet, but I don't think you did. Did you?
I practice. Game.
Did you, Ziggy? Did you?
I practice.
Okay. Did you, Ziggy?
I do. Sure, it may not be super perfect, but
oh, I like that. That's a nice bit of line work. Like the art. I'm sorry, man. The colouring went a bit too hot there, but then again, you practiced the line work a bit. You haven't practiced. That's what my colouring looked like when I started out. To be fair, so that's tough. But I like the sketch a lot. Actually, that's a nice expression. Actually, I do appreciate that, man. So good work on that front. Yeah.
yay.
I like that a lot. Then we got Rouge the fucking bat. I still can't believe that came up first time. The bastarding bloody dice.
The dice give up when the dice take away, but the dice will never give up for Big the cat.
How could they do that to me, man? Harley Quinn.
It looks traumatizing.
It was your warm-up sketch. To be fair.
I have failed you.
Celestia, it's not bad. Wish I could have coloured that. I might colour that and put that up next time. That'd be quite fun. I've buggered up the colouring, to be honest. It's not the best. Her hair is weird to draw. I need to get my head around that. And then we got Getting Over It, man.
Perfect.
He's cute.
He's cute.
I like him. Aww.
Thank you.
And then Freezer, looking a bit pathetic and not particularly.
Look at him pathetic.
He looks more like me. He's not like a badass destroying worlds here. I could have done better there.
Just him on his downtime.
Just chilling the fuck out. Maybe. Alright, well that was fun. I'd like to do that again at some point.
That's right.
We'll bring up some new weird characters and get that all whack.
It's a shame that we didn't get Cosby though.
I know, right? I was hoping one of us would. That would have been fucking funny. But, oh well. Never mind. Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our stream and sharing.
Yeah, I hope you had fun. I think we did.
We did.
I think we did.
We shared some laughs and shed some tears.
Indeed.
On the inside though, because we're manly men.
Exactly, Zig. Alright, well cheers for watching. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Woo!
Nice. We're back next Sunday with Getting Over It, so that'll be fun.
That's right. Will we beat it? Only time will tell.
Who knows, my friend? Who knows? Alright guys, take care then. Bye-bye.
Bye.